Samad for the inputs, valuable inputs they gave me to write this novel. And also I would like to thank Maina Shetty of the adoption agency BSSK. I think the full form is Bharatiya Samaj Sevak Kendra in Pune, which I had visited and which from where I got valuable input.
And don't know her very well. But I can say one thing about her, that she's definitely a very focused woman and very clear and determined, because it's very difficult to get me out of my own cocoon. And when I read this book, I feel that she has so much clarity of thought. The way she writes is so simple yet beautiful, uncomplicated, and it helped me transform. I think I became Mayuri. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to read, to do a book reading, because this is the first time I'm reading a book in public, and that too aloud. I sprawled on the sofa and kept surfing channels on the telly. Nothing grabbed me. I played with the idea of logging into Facebook, but I had nothing to post. I blinked at the television, not daring to switch it off. I considered calling up Seema. That she would have zoomed off to the reading of her new play. Our in-laws too had grudgingly accepted her new profession. Though they could not be persuaded to watch her act, she did not care. And how Rahul, her husband, was reacting, I did not know. She did not talk about him at all, and very little about Bablu and Tina, her children. She was consumed by her new passion and exhorting me too to engage in some real work. What work? I queried. Do some social service. How does one go about doing social service? I was baffled. And would social service fulfill me? You could join an NGO. There are so many NGOs working with street children, orphans. Which one should I join? Whichever suits your temperament. There may be some NGOs in your neighborhood. Find out. It's absurd. What? I mean, isn't it absurd to be dashing around looking for people to help when actually you need help? Don't unemployed people scout for jobs. Seema quit. Mulling over the exchange, my mind skied to the women's organization called Genuine, which I had learned housed in a building 3 lanes away from our apartment. On an impulse, I leapt off the sofa, and in minutes I was out on the road. Soon I had located the organization. I passed through the open door into what I assumed was the main door of the NGO, a small room with wooden windows. An elderly woman poised at the table looked up at me inquiringly. I opened up to her. Could I be of any help at the center? It's extremely nice of you to offer your services, dear, but at this moment, I can't think of anything. Leave your number behind anyway, she said politely. Something may come up. I returned home with 3 packets of methi khakhi. Confused, perturbed. Every place seemed to function ideally without my intervention. What could I do then with the energy and goodwill bubbling within me? If I dismissed my 2 domestics and personally executed every household chore, then I'd exhaust my physical energy but would still be thirsting inside. I had rejected invitations to join pity, believing I was meant for more than that. I was ready to put my energy to some good use, but the world did not seem to need it. Was that possible? There was wisdom in contouring a career for oneself before one time the knot. I knew it even at that point.
Sorry, we can't hear. I'm sorry, we can't.
I returned home with 3 packets of methi khakis, confused, perturbed. Every place seemed to function ideally without my intervention. What could I do then with the energy and goodwill bubbling within me? If I dismissed my 2 domestics and personally executed every household chore, then I'd exhaust my physical energy but would still be thirsting inside. I had rejected invitations to join kitties, believing I was meant for more important things. I was ready to put my energy to some good use, but the world did not seem to need it. Was that possible? There was wisdom in contouring a career for oneself before one died too much. I mused with regret that. A new idea occurred to me. I nudged women who were sleeping outside, giving sound. Women, listen. I wish to work for our company. There must be some work I could do at our main office. You don't need to do any work, my dear, women slur. But I wish to. I feel useless. For an answer, he stretched out his arm and laid it on my hip, pulling me to himself. His company was performing well. He had proved a point to his father. He was happy. He had found his fulfillment in his reborn company. But he was not enough for me. His love was not enough for me. I acknowledged to myself again. I needed something more. I needed a child. That was the bottom line. But did I really have a strong maternal urge? And what was this maternal urge? I questioned myself. It was certainly not like hunger, a compulsive pointed poke from inside. It was not even like the sexual urge, that sharp contraction in your deepest secret being and that peculiar sensation of dissolving, of limbs melting. The urge to bear seemed to have no physical corollary. Then was there really something like a maternal urge? Was it that it woke up, clamored, and set up a ruckus within a woman once she conceived and her baby began to grow inside? Or was it the maternal urge was simply a craving derived from the environment, a desire to fulfill a social stereotype? In the dark, I wrote out the same answer as always. I wanted a child for the sake of women, for my own sake. A child I could work upon every day, thought by thought, move by move. Oh, what a joy that would be. Should I again seek out an infertility specialist? The thought possessed me again. I'd like to read one more paragraph, which is the last paragraph of the book. My favorite. And I'd like to end the reading with this paragraph. For the great truth is that while blood relations matter and have tenacity, there's something thicker than blood in this world. Something which has the power to create families and everything that's beautiful in our lives, and which really holds up this world. The human capacity to love can be trusted. That is what I have learned. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There are more ladies from this speaks about triumph of ladies. There are certain things in life which you sort of, I always believe that your first reaction to a person, to a situation, to a feeling is the truthful reaction. When we meet certain people, you like them or you don't like them. I always go by my first, some people call it gut level feeling, some people call it instinctive feeling, some people say that, oh, this is what. And then our mind manipulates it over a period of time, then say, no, it's not right to say the right thing, it's not. But actually the first feeling is the most important feeling. And I've dealt with my life on my first reactions, on my first feeling. So Munmun, when she met me many, many years back, she was a journalist in a magazine, and she had come to interview me. And there was a certain amount of earnestness in her, a certain amount of sincerity, and a certain amount of, like Hindi mein word hai bebakpana. I went to Hindi medium school, so I do not know how to translate that, but I'm sure everybody knows that. I believe in also one more theory that there are certain relationships which are like a pause button on a tape recorder. You just have to press the pause button and it starts from where you left. She came to me, she did not even come to me this time, she just sent me a message. So she also did not say that I want you to come for the launch or I want you to launch that. She said it was her subtle way of another book. Second book she did not come to me. I don't know your reasons, so because I'm just telling you the chronological order. When I read her first book, Hushed Voices, I read it as an actor and I thought it was great pieces of performances in them. In fact, I made our students perform on those various pieces. First one I asked for to launch her book. Second one she did not come to me. Third one she also did not invite me, just she sent me a message. But there's so much of joy to do certain things for people who you believe in that you don't have to be invited, you just want to put your stamp of conviction in your mind on them, and that's the biggest test of any relationship, whether you've met them or not. So Munmun, this is not for you, this is for myself.